If you don't feel any pressure on set, then you're not involved enough.
Mm-hmm. A perfect Newark product, the visionary, the storyteller. He's the director behind the music videos of Coi Leray, Bobby Shmurda, Sleepy Hallow. He's also the 2023 BET Hip Hop Award nominee for Best Music Video.
I went to school for biology, pre-med, and I was working as a junior chemist at the time. It's a whole different life. I kind of like just got shoved into it. It just went from there. I just kept the momentum going and just turned into my new life. We didn't come up wanting to be filmmakers. Being from the hood, being from the street, you don't think about being a filmmaker full-time as a viable option. We don't think that's gonna be able to support our daughters and our children. But when you got a passion, you gotta go 100%. You gotta take a risk. To me, it's more than just like accomplishment for myself. It's more, right. It's about bringing up a certain community. When you just start, your work is gonna suck. It's just gonna suck. Everybody's like, oh, this is fire. This is great. And I knew I just started. I'm like, how is this great? So I would say always seek constructive criticism and don't take it personal. Keep going. I know it sounds cliche, but that's really the only thing you need, because you never know when success is right around the corner. It's not just something that we did for fun. It's really having an impact.
Hey, before we dive into this amazing interview, I have to take a moment to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, On the Set Apparel. They are all about quality gear for creators like us, with clothing designed to keep you comfortable and inspired on set, ensuring that you feel and look your best as you pursue your passion. So use code OTSP20 for 20% off your next order. Let's get back to this amazing interview, and don't forget to use that code and tag us for a shout out. Peace. Welcome, fellow creatives, to the Ironbound Film and Television Studio, home of the exclusive On the Set podcast, where we take you behind the scenes of the captivating world of filmmaking. Welcome to season 2, baby. I'm your host, Steven Strickland. And here we just don't talk about films. We dissect them, we celebrate them, and we uncover the moments that shape the stories that we tell. So come with us as we give you an all-access pass behind the scenes to the industry that we live and breathe. So, folks, sit back, get comfy, and prepare to be wild, because this conversation right here, you do not want to miss. Stepping into the spotlight, a perfect Newark product, the visionary, the storyteller, the one and only, Nimi Hendrix. What's up, Nimi?
What's going on?
Yeah. Y'all can definitely clap for that, man.
Thanks for the introduction. That made me feel like I'm doing something.
Man, you're doing something, man. Yeah, it felt good to hear all those accolades. And that's probably
it
just
felt
some
good.
Of them.
Yeah.
You know, I know you're working on some stuff, but we'll get into that later, man.
For
How you
sure.
been?
I've been great.
It's been
good
a while.
to see you. Yes, sir.
It's been a while, man. I want to say we met around the time of Red Dot, whenever it premiered in the Newark International Film Festival, somewhere between 2016, 2018.
Yeah.
You know, I heard about you. My friend Sadia Bunch was in Red Dot, and she was telling me about you. So I heard a lot of amazing things about this high director, you know, Nimi Hendrix. I was like, who is this dude? And I saw, you know, the pictures of the secret society, and you had the dreads, man. Let's talk about that, man. What brought on the cut of the dreads?
Yeah, they fell out. No, no, I'm joking.
All right.
No, I just wanted to change, so I just cut it.
Okay.
So this is probably my first appearance without them.
All right, cool, man.
Yeah.
Glad to be here for, you know, the exclusive. You know, and you lost weight too, man. You look good, brother.
Oh yeah, just
a
little gym work.
Okay.
Yeah, a little change of diet. So just trying a lot of self-improvement.
That's good, man. I go to the gym 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Dropping off my friend at the gym. I don't go inside. But that's a different thing, man.
Yeah, we gotta go together, man.
I know that's right, man. We're gonna do that.
Motivate each other.
You know, before we start, let's rewind it, you know, for a second. Let's talk about where it all began for you. Right? So what was the first experience of feeling that little spark in you? Like what ignited what is now known as what we see in Nimi Hendrix?
I would say, well, I started off doing music, right? I had a music group, I mean, we call ourselves Secret Society. Basically what it is, it was kind of like, almost like an all-star team of like, what I thought was like the best artists in Newark at the time. I was running the studio, and there was a lot of artists that was like just coming through, and I kind of like picked the best ones, and we kind of made like a super group almost doing music. And it's kind of like fast forward beyond that, I kind of like lost the inspiration of doing music myself. So, but I still wanted to like contribute to what the group had going on. So I picked up a camera and just started like kind of like coming up with ideas and doing like visuals for some of these songs. And even then, I never really saw myself as like, all right, this is gonna be my career. This is what I'm really trying to pursue. But I did a visual with one of our artists, Tax G, and it was like a 1-minute freestyle, but I turned it into like a 5-minute like short film. And nobody was doing that at the time. So it kind of like everybody was like, wow, this is a movie. And people just started approaching me like, yo, that's the director. Oh, that's Nimi. He directed that. And I kind of like just got shoved into it. It just went from there. I just kept the momentum going and just turned into my new life.
Okay, that's cool. So you would you say that that's what pulled you into, you know, the storytelling even before you had like the real words to
Yeah,
express it?
I was always like a creative, but I never like really saw it as like a career path. Like never. I used to always do like, always come up with like stories, and I used to wrote like a little fake book back in like elementary school. So even coming up, I was always a creative person.
Mm.
So yeah, so as it took off, and as people wanted to like book me and hire me, it kind of like came to a point where it was I was making more doing that than I was at my job, and it kind of just the transition from there.
Okay. So you're known for your visuals that have a lot of energy, have a lot of um, emotion and
Hmm.
identity. So was there a job that you had before, or a person that had an influence on, you know, your cinematic voice?
Um, well, definitely not job, because I was I was in a whole different realm at the time. I went to school for biology, pre-med, and I was working as a junior chemist at the time.
Get
So
out of here.
yeah, so it's a whole different life. So I wouldn't say it was really a job that inspired me, but at the same time, I was always big on music. I was always big on storytelling. Like the artists that I used to like a lot were the ones that told stories, and I was big on movies. I used to look up. I used to get online and look up all the nominees for Academy Awards and make sure I watched every film. And so it was always a passion for me. I just never saw that it would be the path I would take, like as a career.
Okay. Doing your homework.
Yeah,
That's what I
for
call
sure.
doing homework.
Of
When I go to
course.
movies, I consider that doing homework. One year, a friend of mine, good friend of mine, gave me some movie tickets
Mm,
for my birthday, and in the card it said, "Go do your homework." And
okay.
I was like, that was dope.
Yeah, you gotta stay fresh. You gotta be you gotta be inspired. Kind of just seeing other work, what people are doing, it kind of like keeps you going, keeps the juices flowing.
Okay, so you mentioned, you know, school and being, you know, pre med, and I mean, you rep Newark to the fullest.
For sure.
Not only do you do that, but you know, you're a Rutgers alum.
Yeah,
Rutgers
yeah,
alum.
right here, Rutgers, Newark.
Okay,
Yeah,
Rutgers Newark. Shout out to Rutgers Newark.
for sure.
How was that mindset for you back then? You know, how was your mindset back then, and how did or did uh, the academic side of you have an influence or shape, you know, the step into visuals and video and things like that?
Um, well, honestly, I felt like it was kind of like one thing that was keeping me away from it,
Mm.
right? Because I just come from a background where we don't really we're not into the creative. It's just like this is a family of people. We came up from Jamaica, and they just wanted to push me towards either you want to be a doctor or you want to be a lawyer, and it wasn't really anything else. They see like that is something that's bear fruit. It's bearing fruit. I've maintained productivity doing it, and it's taken me to places that I probably never would have been. So at the same time, I always try to include, like, I was always big on education. Like I have a movement called Smart is Gangsta, and that's
Smart is Gangsta?
Smart is Gangsta.
Smart is
Smart
Gangsta.
is
Okay.
Gangsta. And what that means is like coming up with me and my friends in school, like we always thought it was cool to be smart. Like we used to compete. Like, all right, boom, I got the best test scores. Now I've seen like a lot of kids nowadays, not all of them, but there's a lot of kids nowadays that they kind of like think it's cool to not be smart or to not be good in school. I remember one time I was watching something on YouTube or something on Instagram, and there's like a group of kids being asked like a math question. I forgot the question, but it was asked like a math question, and like all the kids started getting it wrong, and then one kid got it right, and then they looked at him, and he said the wrong answer because he wanted to kind of feel like he wanted to fit into what everybody else was saying. So that was kind of like one of the types of things that kind of inspired me to want to like start this movement to Smart as Gangsta, to where you kind of like show people that, yo, it's good to be smart, it's good to be knowledgeable, it's good to have an education. So I kind of like to use that towards my films, like always put some type of message and some type of encouragement into the work, to where it kind of like leaves a seed in people's minds to know that, all right, this is not just a collection of pictures and images. It's something that thought was behind, and something that tries to motivate some type of emotion and some type of change. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much like what I did with the education and to put towards the creative part and the film side.
That's dope. As filmmakers,
Right.
you know, you wanna start conversations after they finish watching the film.
Yeah.
Thought-provoking things
Yeah,
like that.
that's important.
So you're creating pathways for future storytellers,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I know you talked about, kind of, where it began, and where do you think, was there a moment when you realized that your work truly started to speak for itself?
That's a good question. I would probably, there's a lot of different stages along the way.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of different ways I could answer it. If I could say one thing, it would probably be the Red Dot series.
Mm.
The Red Dot series, because when we started Red Dot, we kind of started as a joke. Like, if anybody watching, if y'all seen it, basically what it is it's a group of filmmakers walking around dressed in
Suits,
black suits,
black and
black
white.
ties,
Yeah.
and basically we masquerade as filmmakers, but in the film we're actually like hired assassins. We kind of like got the imagery from Reservoir Dogs, which is Quentin Tarantino. So we kind of like, all right, let's put this on social media. So we started put it on social media, and it started going viral, and we decided to like put it, like actually create an actual story in a series. And when we did Red Dot, it was just so much, like everywhere I went, everybody was asking, "Oh, when's the next episode coming? When's the next episode coming?" So I would think that series is kind of like one of the landmark moments that kind of like made us realize, like, yo, we have an impact. Like when we started venturing, traveling different places, and people from all around the country like randomly asking me about this series.
Okay. All right. Shout out to Red Dot. Shout out to the whole team. I saw it. Hilarious. It was really good.
Thank you.
Really good, man. I really enjoyed that.
Appreciate it.
In 2014, you did a documentary, Death Coast.
Yeah, film.
Right? Film. Sorry.
Yeah.
Film, Death Coast.
Yeah.
And the name alone just grabs you.
Yeah.
Right? So tell us what the process was, of
Death
making
Coast?
that from
man.
beginning to end.
I was approached by a group of individuals about doing a film, and I was given a 1-page script, which I was told it was a script.
Mhm.
I looked at it, it wasn't really a script. It was just a couple lines and a couple descriptions of different scenes that they wanted to see happen.
Mm.
And they said, "Yo, Nimi, we want to do this little film for YouTube." One thing about me is that if I see promise in something, I want to take it all the way. Like I don't like wasting my time with little, like, all right, this is for YouTube or this is just for Instagram. So even though it was a 1-page script, I liked the story, and I thought it had like a lot of potential. And if you see the film is basically about gang culture in the city of Newark. And at the time, there wasn't another film that covered that. Like, if you went to California, or you went around the country, or you went to the South, nobody really knew that that culture existed in the city. So I saw a lot of potential in the story that was being told. So what we ended up doing is we took this little 1-page script. We went out and kind of like freestyled the movie. Like, every day we just came up with different scenes, and the people that you see in the film, like, not actors, they were actually just being themselves, just kind of like reenacting different moments of their life. And so that was pretty much the process. And I remember we came up with the idea for an ending, and the executive producer of the film, Jawi, we had came up with an ending, and I said cut, and he did something off camera, like playing around. I'm not gonna give the ending away, but he did something off camera playing around. I'm like, oh, yo, let's recreate that for the end. Let's shoot that for the end. So once you see the film, you'll see how everything came together. But the important thing with the film, though, is we wanted to, even though it was about like gang culture in the city of Newark, I didn't want it to be just like a run and gun, just shoot 'em up film with an ending. I wanted to kind of like tell a message and kind of like teach a lesson. So what the film does is like it kind of like shows the impact of that life on the community, on the church, on the family, on friends, how it impacts all these people's lives. And in the end, not without giving away too much of it, it kind of like gives a good lesson that kind of like it sits with you and inspires people that's a part of this life to like want to do something different. You know what I mean? So that was pretty much the process behind this film.
Okay. All right. Again, thought-provoking stuff, and that's what you do. That's what you do, man. How long have you been doing this, if you can remember?
Film?
Yeah.
I would probably say like full time, I would probably say like probably like 12, 13 years about. Playfully picked up a first little camera probably around, don't quote me on it, 2010-ish.
Okay.
Something like that.
All right.
So yeah, I would say like around that line.
All right. Cool. So let's move a little bit forward to Jersey Club. Right? Jersey Club, it has a mind of its own. It has an energy all of its own. And you really tapped into that when you did the mini documentary. Let me make sure I get this name right. Serato's Hometown Sounds with Unique.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
It dropped in 2024. And like I said, you really tapped into the culture right there. Was there any moments that really hit you hard while telling that story, while creating that documentary?
That process was great. As you said, it was for company Serato, who had came up with like a DJ software, and shouts to Fader magazine. They're the ones that got me on the project, and they pretty much the mindset was, all right, if we get this if we're gonna do a project on Jersey Club, we don't want to bring in somebody that's not familiar with the culture. Like, this is a very organic thing, and you want somebody that could capture it, that's used to capturing it, that knows the stories and knows the things that need to be told. Because as everybody is aware, when it comes to something that's so intimately loved by the community, if it's not done right, then they're gonna rebel against it. So yeah, so they tapped me in because they know I was in tune with the culture, and me and Unique, we put together a piece that not only represented her and her life and her upbringing, but the culture as a whole. One of the things that I'm talented at is bringing people together.
Okay.
So
one of your skill sets.
Yeah, one of my skill sets.
Yeah.
So I would say my favorite part of the process is when we kind of like brought all the top dogs in the Jersey Club community, all the dancers, all the DJs, and we put them all in one room. And I think that's, and as far as I know, that was probably the first time we had like so many pioneers of the art form of Jersey Club together in one room. And it was a good moment for me, and I was definitely grateful to be able to put that together.
Cool, man. So you realized, hopefully, like, did you realize? I'm pretty sure you realized. Did the cast, did everybody a part of it realize the true significance of, you know, shining a light on the local community and maybe, you know, the broader music world, right?
Yeah. They definitely, everybody was excited because there's never, I don't think there's been a project dedicated to Jersey. It's such a popular and influential form of music, but it hasn't been given the justice that other other genres have gotten. So everybody knew that this was the moment. This was a moment that they were waiting for, that kind of like put it on that pedestal.
Cool, and then you were the man to do it. You were the man to do the job. They came and got you, bro.
Me and the rest of my team. Shouts to Secret Society Motion Pictures. I couldn't have done it without them.
That's right. Shout out the team. Gotta can't do it without the team.
For sure.
I know how that feels here on the Set podcast.
You're right.
Yeah, I love y'all, man.
Good job, team.
Anyway,
shouts to the team.
So that's right. Every creative has unique encounters throughout their career, right? Can you pinpoint what moment or what project that you did that made it possible for you to, you know, do those videos for Coi Leray, Bobby Shmurda, Jadakiss, you know, Sleepy Hallow?
Each of the names you mentioned, or each of the projects you mentioned, kind of like got this start from something else.
Okay.
But I could pinpoint one specific one. As you say, the Sleepy Hallow, who's also with Chef G. The project that kind of got that situation catalyzed was it was a music video that I won my first Newark International Film Festival award with, which was Fuck 12. It's a video by Khalil Gibran, directed by me.
Oh, congratulations on that right there.
I appreciate it. And that video, it was very influential, and there was a group of people that saw that project. Shouts to Germ, Winter Circle, and it kind of gravitated them towards me and wanted to bring me into what they had going on in their movement at the time. And at the time, I believe they was working with Rock Nation. And eventually they started working with Sleepy Hallow and Chef G when they were coming up. And being that I was already working with them and they saw the Fuck 12 video, they kind of like got me to start producing Chef G and Sleepy Hallow's, like their first, like, not to say their first real videos, because they had like videos that were going viral, but the first, like, I would think it was the first time that they left their comfort zone to do like kind of like a step above what they were doing before.
Okay.
So that was the project that created that. And another answer I could say was the Coi Leray situation. Shouts to DJ Smalls. I remember, like, DJ Smalls is one of those situations where you have two people that's influential in the Jersey circuit, but you never really spoke and never met each other. Like DJ Smalls is doing a lot of like fire remixes that was killing all the parties.
Yes, sir.
And I met DJ Small at a PB&J event by Unique, and he was one of the headline DJs, and he said like, "Yo, Nimi, you killing it. Good to meet you." Boom, DJ Smalls, I heard your music. Good to meet you. And I would say probably a couple weeks after that, he was like, "Yo, I got a couple weeks after that, his remix of Coi Leray kind of like took off. So it was a perfect timing of me meeting him at that event right before his remix of the Coi Leray records Players took off, and kind of connected me with Coi Leray's management team, and they was like, "Yo, you're the perfect person for the job because you got the Jersey club culture, and I know you could bring out the people." And a lot of people at the time didn't know that Coi Leray was from Jersey.
Right.
So it was like, "Yo, we need to really show the Jersey love and the energy," and we kind of just brought her back to Jersey, made a movie, and that's kind of how that situation took off.
Shout out to Jersey. Shout out to you doing what you do and people trusting you with their vision. I like when you said you like to believe that was when they stepped out of their comfort zone. That's big, man.
For sure.
People have to trust you in order to step past any of their boundaries.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
So, celebrities. I'll piggyback off that. Working with celebrities, man. Sometimes that can bring added pressure, right?
Yeah.
You think?
No, definitely.
What strategies did you use to keep the energy up while, working with different personalities and egos? Or can you talk about that?
Patience.
Mm.
Gotta have a lot of patience. Everybody's different. And that they're used to they used to be being treated a certain way. So it's kind of tough having patience with certain people, but
Oh yeah,
sometimes I kind of like gotta sit back and meditate on it and realize that, yo, you just gotta be patient with these people and gotta learn how to deal with different personalities. But at the same time, the job gotta get done. So you gotta make sure you're an effective communicator and get the right message out to make sure everything gets done.
Okay.
So yeah.
Players, the remix. Players remix was shot in your hometown, right?
Mm-hmm. That's a
and
fact.
it got you a nomination for Best Hip Hop Video on BET for BET Awards. How did that feel for you? How did that moment feel for you, you know, as a person and for Newark creatively?
It felt good. I always felt like coming from the music video space, there's not a lot of moments in time where we're acknowledged for our work. Because what we do is we create pieces of promotion for artists. That's what a music video is. It's just something they use to promote themselves.
Write that down, y'all.
And so there's not a lot of times where we're recognized for it. So to be recognized and acknowledged for that specific work, it wasn't just a random video. To me, it wasn't even my best video, because there's a lot of videos that we put a lot of like creative juices, and so to be recognized for that specific job that we put together, that we brought the people out. Shouts to one of my partners, Unicorn, who kind of like helped get everybody that was involved in the Jersey movement together, because I didn't know where to shoot this video, because I live downtown Newark. I couldn't bring all these people downtown Newark. So I reached out to Unicorn. I was like, yo, where can I bring 1,000 people that we wouldn't get shut down, the police wouldn't come, and the business wouldn't be upset? And he was like, yo, I shot this video in front of this store. I have this relationship with this store. So we just gave everybody the address to come to this store. And it was literally 1,000 people in front of the store. And not one time did they have anything negative to say. So to get recognized for something that was so instrumental in the Jersey club culture was a good feeling. I was glad it was that video. Now we didn't win the award, but it was kind of like a what's the word? The culture still won, because the video that won that award was Lil Uzi at the time. I Wanna Rock, which is another Jersey club, produced by another Jersey club producer, MC Vert, that won Best Music Video. So even though we didn't win, the culture still won. So it was important. It was a good feeling that we were able to do something so impactful and put Jersey on a higher pedestal.
Oh man, how do you stay true to holding on to your roots and still move the culture at the same time?
I'm just a loyal person. It's as simple as that. Like, I don't believe no matter where I am in life, I'm always trying to reach back to the places and the people that help mold me, because I don't believe that anybody could be successful by themselves, no matter how rich you are, or how famous, or how successful, or whatever. There's always people that help you get to that position. And I've never been the type of person to kind of like forget where I came from or forget the people that helped place me where I am, because I like to be an example and a lesson, so people could say, oh, if Nimi could kind of like keep it real and keep it loyal to the people that placed him here, why can't I do it? So yeah, I always got that in mind. I want to always have a meaning to every place I go. I want it to kind of like inspire and just like create a certain change. To me, it's more than just like accomplishment for myself. It's more, it's about bringing up a certain community, a certain group of people, a certain like aspects of society. So that's always like on my mind.
You want to make it better than it was when you leave. You want it to be You wanted to touch the people.
Yeah, always got, yeah,
All right.
exactly.
That's cool. You've been on a lot of sets, and everybody has their routine. So take us through a day in the life of Nimi Hendrix on set. What's the first thing you do? What's the last thing you do?
First thing I do on set or in the day?
On set. Let's
On
just
set,
go on set.
okay.
Well, I mean, if you want to, what's the first thing you do in the day? You wake up.
I mean, usually, well, I start the night before. Usually I just send the word out to my team members, Secret Society Motion Pictures, and we meet up. We hop in the vehicle, and on our way to the set, they always make fun of me because I never listen to music when they driving with me. And the reason I'm not listening to music is because I'm always got my mind on what needs to be done. I'm always focused on that. Because when you do an indie film, you always got to be on your toes because there's always like obstacles and like last minute things that you got to like be ready for. So there's always work to do. You're not gonna, as a director of an indie project, you're not gonna just step on the set and everything is just gonna magically fall into place. So I'm always in the mode of being focused on being able to like catch different audibles and change things last minute. So that's really always my state of mind going into a film project. I get to set. Usually I'll have a kind of like a quick rundown with the team of what everybody's going to be doing. And I like to kind of, a lot of people don't do it where they're sharing with different people that on the project what's actually happening besides what their job is. So I like to like show them the treatment just so they know visually how everything is supposed to look and kind of like could add in the decision-making process. One of the things that we emphasize with SSMP is allowing people to make certain decisions or give suggestions. And because I always say that if you're not like using your brain, which is a muscle, and not helping with the process, then you're not really learning. So I always give people the opportunity to kind of like give their input.
So would you say it's a collaborative effort? Your team is a collaborative effort?
Yeah, it's definitely a collaborative effort. And I always tell them, even if I don't use your idea, even if I don't like it, you still use your brain to think of something. So, right. And I'll tell you straight up why it's not a good idea, or if it's a good idea, we'll use that in the project. But yeah, we get the set. Everything else just goes from there. People like to say I like to yell a lot. I always feel like I'm in a position as an indie filmmaker where a lot of people come to me because they know I could put out a product where the result looks more than the actual budget, right? So in that, time is always of the essence.
Skill set.
Time is always of the essence. So I'm always in that mode to where, all right, this needs to get done. Everybody play your role. So I would say I'm very like, what's the word? Intense. I would probably say. I don't call it yelling. I just call it being intense.
That's the word.
That's pretty much my mindset on set.
Okay, so that's at the top. So you wake up, you pick up the team, you're driving, you stay focused by not listening to music.
Yeah,
that's different. Because I know a lot of people, including myself, I like to
after the shoot we could put some music on.
Cool. Like when I come here, Alex is playing some dope music, dope vibes, is getting my juices flowing. I'm getting makeup done with Bree. She's playing her tunes and we're vibing and just heightening everything. So that's different for me. Yeah. That's cool. That's a shocker.
Yeah, people think I'm crazy. Somebody told me that only psychopaths do that, but I don't think that's...
No, we don't think that.
That's true.
No, we don't think that. We don't think that. Not here on the set. Nimi is not a psychopath.
not even close.
So that's the beginning of the day. At the end of the day, what's the last thing you do on set?
Last thing I do on set?
Besides leave.
If it was a good shoot, I like to give words of encouragement. If I don't think things went 100%, I like to give words of where people could improve.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah, I would say I like to give feedback. Yeah, I would say I like to give feedback because most of the shoots that we do is a learning experience for different people, including myself. So we like to have a little discussion on how everything went and how we can improve for the next time, I would say.
All right, so if someone were to shadow you, I don't know if you allow people to shadow you, as a director, but if people were to, someone was to shadow you on set for a day, what about your process would be surprising to them? Like, you already surprised me with the no music
I
thing,
would say,
but
the amount of improvisation that we do, coming from my space of like last minute stuff, like in the music video space, a lot of things are so last minute. You don't really have time to like create an exact shot list. Like there's times where like a lot of the videos that I've done that are the most popular videos, I'll get the song the night before or the day before. Like, yo, we got to shoot tomorrow. So there's a lot of improvisation that's involved. So I would probably say that's kind of like the most surprising to some people is how much things that we just come up just off the top of the head or just based upon like have done things a lot of times that we just know like, okay, let's do it this way this time, or take a moment to like think and go to the side and just be creative, or we'll be on set walking around the scene and kind of like putting together our shot list right on the spot. I would probably say that was probably be the most surprising thing that some people have like noticed how we work.
Okay, so you're used to that process, last minute, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that you work better with that, or having more time to prepare?
I love the time to prepare, but I'm not gonna lie. Even the times where I have times to prepare, I always feel like I come up with my best ideas last minute.
Okay.
I don't know why. It's just, and sometimes it puts me in a tough spot because I'll come up with a certain idea last minute and it'll be too late to, let's say I need a certain prop. It'll be too late to get this prop. So it's like, dang, I wish I came up to that yesterday. So yeah, we definitely need time we definitely like time to prepare, but for some reason, probably because I'm just so used to the last minute stuff that I usually come up with some of my best ideas like right then and there.
All right, so we have this thing called the staple question, which means we ask every guest this same question. Now, you may have already answered it, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What one word captures being on set for you, and why?
Intensity.
Okay.
Intensity. Always tell our team members that if you don't feel any pressure on set, then you're not involved enough.
Mm-hmm.
You're not there's nothing at stake for you. Like to me, every set, every project, there's something at stake. There's a level of responsibility because as I always tell people that as a director is one of the most stressful jobs to me is because what happens is you step on set and anywhere from 10 to 1,000 people expect you to be in command and in control and be able to execute and to get the job done. So there are moments where it as I said before, when there's certain obstacles. Like one time we were renting a mansion for $1,000 an hour, and everybody was late, and so by the time we got to certain scenes, it was intense. Everybody got to stay on their P's and Q's, and a lot of times you have to put the playbook down and just come up with a different plan. So yeah, sometimes it gets intense, sometimes it gets stressful, sometimes you may have some beads of sweat coming on your forehead. So yeah, that's my answer. Intensity.
Intensity. That's a great word. That's a great word. And I love how you described, being on set with that. That's dope. That's dope. Your creativity is always sparking new ideas. So speaking of new ideas, let's get into, what you're working on now with the Secret Society Motion Picture Initiative. That's a dope program, by the way.
Thank you.
What made you say, let me do this? Like, what sparked the creation of that?
Well, what sparked the creation of that is when I realized that as a filmmaker, you can't do things yourself. You need a team. I would probably say the exact moment I realized that is I was I was approached to do like a reality show with some celebrity clients, and they asked, "You got a team?" And I made up an answer. I said, "Yes, I have a team." But at the time, I didn't have a team. So I kind of went out to form what I thought at the time was the Avengers of filmmakers, but really it was just a bunch of us that were just all starting out. And it kind of just multiplied over time to where as we gained experience, more other up and coming, budding filmmakers joined and just kept the movement going. So that multiply that over about 10 years and we are where we are today.
That's dope, man. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Does that reflect any of you, or like of your life, coming up? Because it's an internship program, right?
Yeah.
So does that reflect any of your life coming up before you broke into the
Well,
business?
I would say it doesn't reflect my life, but it reflects what I needed or what I wanted was to have like some people to kind of show me the direction, and kind of how when I started doing film, it wasn't as easy to get into as it is today. I would probably say the only person that I would saw as like a mentor coming up was Rock Davis, who I think was a guest of yours.
Shout out to Rock
shout
Davis.
out to Rock Davis.
Season 1.
Yeah, he's probably like the forefather of I call it the Jersey Renaissance of filmmaking. He's kind of like the forefather, and I felt like myself was like right after him. Kind of like he was a person that if I had certain questions, like, yo, Rock, how do you do this? How do you what camera to get? Yeah, so that he was like kind of like the guy that I had like a couple questions for. But at the same time, I always have like an independent mindset to where it could be a pro, it could be a con. Because at the same time, you want to have your independence, but sometimes it's hard to do things by yourself. So when I was learning filmmaking, I didn't want to just like keep bothering anybody. So I was just on YouTube, or there was a book I called Cinematography that kind of like taught me like the basics and the fundamentals and the basic principles. So it was a lot of work. It was like putting yourself through school. It was a lot of education. And I wish I had like a network of people to kind of help with the process. So in what I thought I needed at the time was what I created for other filmmakers to kind of like help them, and while helping them, they also help us. But that's something that a lot of people forget is that yeah, I'm helping them, but at the same time, I need them. They're helping me, and they're helping build the movement as well. It's not just a one directional relationship.
Man, that's great, man. We always appreciate people, especially here on the set. You know, we want to give back to the community. We want to pull the ones that are beside it, not even about the ones who are next, but the ones that are coming up with us, with this information and opportunities, to help. With this internship, what sets this one apart from other internships? And are there any lessons that you intentionally like weaved into the program?
What sets it apart, I would say, is direct feedback. I think a lot of internships are more like being at the bottom tier of a work environment to where you're just doing a certain assignment. Our internship is an actual training experience to where like we look at what you're doing and try to help you improve. It's not just, okay, you didn't do the job right, I'm gonna let you go. Yeah, it's a training environment. So I would say that's kind of like what makes it different than most other internships. It's not just you're not just doing a job, or you're not just lifting a box or setting up a tripod. Is everybody that starts kind of like, we try to teach them as much as we can. Try to teach them how to use a camera, how to set up lights, how to tell stories, how to write treatments. And then once you kind of like touch everything and see how the process goes, then different individuals say, okay, this is the path I want to take. I like doing lighting, or I like doing camera work. I like DPing. Or I don't want to touch a camera. I just want to help with treatments. Or
Right.
I'm not really creative, but I'm good at organizing. I want to just be a producer or production coordinator. So yeah, once we kind of like give everybody a sense of how the process works, they could pick up and decide which avenue they want to go down.
So in watching all the young creatives come through, the internship, through the program, can you think of a moment or moments where you realized that what you decided to do with your team was bigger than you? It was like, this is legacy work. I'm leaving a legacy behind. Because I know you said you put it together and it's for the people, but is there a moment where you were like, this is why I do it, and I know this staple is gonna last?
When we do this internship, either one or twice a year, depending on how busy and how many shoots is happening, we do a ceremony where they graduate. And when I first started doing it, I thought to myself, this ain't that serious to them. It's a little graduation, a little filmmaking. But then I started realizing that they really appreciate the ascension, the promotion and the graduation. And that's when I had people tell me like, yo, people sometimes they be crying. Sometimes one guy told me like, it was the first time I've ever been acknowledged in life at anything. I've never graduated. I've never gotten a certificate. I've never completed anything. So things like that is when I kind of realized like, yo, this is something. Like it's having an impact. Or people to start bringing their families, and that's when I realized like, yo, it's not just because honestly, we first started out, it was just having fun.
Right.
Like, all right, we need some help with cameras, cool, join. But we didn't realize it was something that's gonna be changing lives and like creating memories, and like there's people that their lives have literally been changed by the program to where they were doing one thing before and now they're doing something else completely different afterwards. Got them started, like literally have changed hundreds of lives. And just sitting back and just seeing that unfold is when we realize that, yo, it's not just something that we did for fun. It's really having an impact.
And that's dope. That's dope. Now, I know people are watching this and they might be interested in applying, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we'll get to that information later. But actually, no. Let's get into that information now. First, I want to ask you this question. Anybody who's thinking about applying, right?
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give them so that they can make the most of this opportunity?
I would say, because all right, here's how the process works. There's no interview process, right? We don't really have a lot of time to go. We get a lot of applicants. Like we get hundreds of applicants, 300, 400, 500 sometimes.
Wow.
So we don't really have time to interview that many people. Honestly, what I do is I look at their Instagram. There's not one thing I look for, but I kind of look at how you conduct yourself, how you present yourself. If your Instagram is filled with smoking Black and Miles and blowing smoke at the camera, I'm skipping it. We don't look for necessarily folks who are seasoned in filmmaking. Sometimes we want people that are fresh and brand new. So as long as you present yourself in the light that you're a professional and you have class and character, and sometimes we're wrong, which that's how with any job process, any job application process, sometimes you get the wrong candidate. Sometimes there may be a great candidate that just by the simple process of how numbers work, we may miss a great candidate. So what you should do is you should be persistent and the next time apply again. And then we have people that applied for 5 years straight, and then I finally, hey, welcome them a part of the family, and I wish, I should have got you 5 years ago. Or it could be as simple as reaching out directly. Like I'm very accessible. if I see somebody that's persistent, that's sending me an email, Nimi, I applied, please look at my application, or message me directly, and something like that goes a long way. So
Okay.
just knowing that you're passionate about it and you're persistent will definitely more than likely allow us to select you.
I like it. I like it. You heard that? All right. What you got to do, be persistent and fix your social media.
Don't be annoying though.
Don't be annoying.
Yeah, don't be annoying.
He's letting you know, hit him up.
There's
but
a
don't
medium
be annoying. It's like, come on, hold up. All right, cool. So as the industry evolves, so does technology. Do you think great cinematography means mastering the latest tools or using what you already have in a unique way?
Man, I come from the school of using what you have. I'm not from the school of where you need the latest and best and greatest equipment. Obviously, you want to have the tools. You can't build a house without a proper hammer or whatever other tools are necessary for building a house. So the tools are important, but I'm not from the school of relying on the biggest and the best equipment. The films I like to watch, I don't like to watch necessarily the films with the biggest budgets. I don't watch a lot of Marvel type stuff, fantasy, sci-fi. I like to watch films that I would probably be able to make with a small budget. Those are my favorite movies.
Okay.
And so I like to see what filmmakers are able to do where the story is being driven, where the film is being driven by the story, by the creativity of the cinematography, not on how big the explosions are or how many fancy cars you can have. So I'm from that school to where we're driven by something that's a little more organic, something that shows the filmmakers that could take a little and make a lot. So that's where I'm at with it.
I like that. And you're a seasoned director, right? You consider yourself a seasoned director?
Yeah, I guess so.
You do a little something. What's one piece of equipment that you definitely need with you on set? You know, what one piece really helps bring your vision to life?
One piece of equipment. I would probably say a telephoto lens. Telephoto lens. I'm big on close-ups. I like capturing emotion. I think especially in the new music video space, there's just a lot of like wide shots to where you just capturing just movement and energy. I like to capture emotion, and I like to kind of like emphasize certain things. So I would say that's my go-to. One thing I can't be without is my telephoto lens.
All right, for someone who may not know what a telephoto lens is, can you explain what that does?
Telephoto lens is pretty much just a lens that could see more up close, the opposite of wide. You could capture somebody's eyes, you could capture somebody's mouth, you could capture just a close-up of their face, and you could blur out the background and certain things like that. So you could pretty much just isolate what's important in the shot rather than just showing everything. Because to me, it's easy to show everything. What's important? What message are you trying to send with this particular shot? So I would say the telephoto lens is something that I can't be without.
Okay. That's dope. So with the state of the industry now, with the rise of, streaming platforms popping up everywhere and distribution, do you see new opportunities coming for African-American filmmakers and, for them to get their stories heard with a broader audience?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. And the reason why I say yes and no is because I think with the new streaming platforms, it allows more filmmakers to be included, which is a good thing. But at the same time, it kind of separates the viewership. You may have one person that's seeing that gets the movies and viewership from Tubi. You may have another person that gets their viewing from Netflix. You have another person that watches Amazon Prime. Another person that subscribes to Apple TV. You have one person like me that most of their viewing is from the cinema, the theater. So what I've noticed nowadays is there's a lot of films, which is great, but at the same time, how often can you sit down with your friends and discuss a film that you all watched?
Mm.
It's not as common as before.
Okay.
Before, 10, 15, 20 years ago, there were certain movies that everybody that watched because everybody had to go to the same place to view it. Everybody had to go to the theater. We had to wait till it come on HBO. This was Saturday night. This was the movie that's premiering on HBO. So everybody saw the same thing. So these films were able to get more attention and were able to be viewed as classic works, a lot of films. Now, modern times, how many films made in the last 5 to 10 years do you think would be considered classics?
You
don't have to give an exact number, but just
within the last how many years?
5 years.
How many would be considered classics?
Yeah.
I don't know, dog.
Probably not a lot. And I think the reason for that is everything's so separated.
Okay.
Everybody's like, Friday, everybody saw Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody saw Boys in the Hood. Everybody saw Menace to Society. Everybody saw these great black films. So now we do have the opportunity to where more of us are able to create the films, but at the same time, it's a bigger challenge in getting everybody to see these films.
Mm.
So it depends on how you look at it. There's more opportunity to be, it's more inclusive. However, I think it's harder to have your films to have the same impact as it would before these different streaming services.
I like that. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Let me ask you this, because you mentioned several films, and I did ask the question about African American filmmakers. Do you feel it's more important to tell stories, or to tell what we consider our stories?
I think it depends on what moment in time we're in, what the climate is.
Okay.
There were moments in time where we needed to tell our stories, where people needed to know what the African American experience was like. They need to understand like the type of things we go through. That moment was that was an important moment in time with Spike Lee and his film showing what the African American experience was like. That was very important.
Right.
Now I think that we've shown what our experience is like. Like everybody, hip hop culture is the probably the most popular magnetic culture in the world. So they know what our neighborhoods and our stories are like. So now we have to show that we could do more than tell just our story. We could make good cinema. We could tell good stories, period, that could be more inclusive to different demographics and different people. And then you have certain films that brings it all together, like Sinners.
Mm-hmm.
Sinners by Ryan Coogler tells about an African American experience, but at the same time incorporates something that you would never consider to be a part of our experience, the vampires, or you would never see that as the experience of an African American. So he was able to bring together a great, just creative story, but at the same time use that to kind of tell a history of Clarksdale, Mississippi, too, that where the blues was invented. So yeah, so I think it depends on the moment in time. Black filmmakers definitely should not put themselves in a box to where we could only tell what's directly in front of us. And I love when I see a film that you see a film and you don't even know that director was black. Like, oh wow, that's a black director.
Mm-hmm.
Great. that was just a good story. It wasn't just a black story. It was a good story. So yeah, that's what I like. But there are moments in time to where our stories is important, and I think that was told by some of the forefathers of black cinema. And now we've gotten to a point to where we just need to tell good stories, impactful stories.
Now, with that, do you feel pressure to create more diverse stories?
I'm not gonna lie to you. That's one of the reasons why I haven't. We did the Death Goals film, which was I directed it, but it was somebody else's vision of their life. I've been kind of torn between my experiences, especially in the city of Newark, are so important that there's a lot of things that happen in the city that I want to put into a story, into a film. But at the same time, if you've seen Red Dot was just it was a dark comedy of just showing cinematic talent and witty storylines and dialogue and just creative filmmaking. So I've been kind of torn between those two worlds, and that's kind of what's been delaying
the next project.
Because I have the capability to do both, and I think both is important. So I've been trying to decide which route do I want to
which route do you want to take, or which route do you want to take first?
And that's another thing. That's another thing. So now you have to decide: is diversity good, or is it better to be to have your own genre? Like, for instance, one of my favorite directors, Quentin Tarantino. When you see a Quentin Tarantino film, you know it's Tarantino.
Who's that? No, I'm just kidding. When you see a Tarantino film, you know it's a Tarantino
film. You know it's a Tarantino film. So it helped him become a legend in that realm. And we don't want to see him do a different type of film. We want to see him tell different stories, but we like to have him keep using that same witty dialogue and dark humor. And we like his filmmaking style. We don't care that he doesn't show a world of diversity. So that's one thing. And at the same time, you also have the ability to speak different ways and tell different types of, not only tell different types of stories, but tell different types of stories in different ways. You may be able to tell something that's important to your community and a social commentary, or you may want to do something that's more lighthearted or dark comedy that doesn't really appeal too much to somebody's emotion, but just entertains them. So that's the dilemma I've been in for a while.
We know that whichever one you decide to do, it's gonna be dope.
Thanks.
You know, so just know I'll speak for me. I got your back.
Would you rather?
What would I rather?
You want me to do a social commentary that speaks upon our experience, or should I do something that's just entertaining and witty and clever?
I would love to see you do something that's entertaining, witty, and clever. That's me.
Okay.
I mean, but I know you can do the former, but that's what I would love to see.
Okay.
So is there anything, aside from that project that you're working on now that you can tell us about, or like, do we need to sign an NDA for that?
Man, with filmmaking, you speak too much on the project, and next thing you see a trailer with the same concept.
Well, that's that. So I think we do need an NDA for that now.
And
but if you can't talk about it, you can't.
I could tell you something about it.
Okay.
Not too much of the story, but yeah, there's a group of individuals of people in our community of Jersey that we have a film that we are currently putting together.
Okay.
Feature-length film. Right now we're in the process of getting the script completed. We're in the process of getting together some funding, and hopefully looking to start production later this year.
Okay.
It's more towards the first thing I said. That's more community based. I think our experience in our city, definitely according to that.
Okay.
And also I have a documentary that I'm planning to get off the ground within the next few weeks. So there's a couple of things down the pipeline.
Yeah. All right, I like that. You're looking for funding. I got $5. I can put a little bit
anything
in.
helps.
You know what I'm saying? That'll make me an EP. Would that make me? That's not enough to make me executive producer.
I can put you somewhere in the credits.
All right, cool. It'll just say Steve. They won't know it's me. So we talked about the tools of the trade a little bit earlier. Let's talk about mindset. So what advice would you give to? Let me take a step back. So you have been in this room right here, right? But there was an event that was held right here in this room called Filmmakers for Ras Baraka, right? And you were also acknowledged as Director of the Year, right? So what advice would you give to up-and-coming creatives to keep pushing and be great, not just in their art, even outside their art? What type of advice would you give them?
Network, be persistent, don't take no for an answer. In this field, pretty much in any creative field, it takes persistence, resilience. You have to avoid being discouraged because all it takes is one opportunity to change your life. So keep going. I know it sounds cliche, but that's really only thing you need. That's what it takes to make it is to keep going because you never know when success is right around the corner, and sometimes you may stop. I know there's like a meme where you see a guy digging a tunnel under the ground, and he quits right before there's a mine of diamonds. So that's reality. You never know when you're gonna reach the diamonds. So just keep going, keep being persistent. And you just got to know the certain traits that you need to have, and one of those traits is is networking and knowing who to bring into your circle, knowing who you need to reach out to get certain help, and you always don't be afraid to ask for help because in this world you can't do anything by yourself. So yeah, I would say networking is probably my biggest key that I would tell people to go forward with.
Okay. So I'm going to put you in a room. You're in a room, you're on a stage, you're talking to emerging artists. What truth would you give them that they need, but that they rarely hear? You understand what I'm saying? Like, keep it real with them, for a second. If you want to look right into that camera, that's your camera right there. If you want to look into it, do it right there.
I'm gonna keep it real. When you just start, your work is gonna suck. It's just gonna suck. So what you need to do is forget your friends and what they think of it. Your friends, 99% of the time, oh, this is dope. This is fire. Fire emoji. This is great. Seek constructive criticism. That's what I did when I first started film. Everybody said, oh, this is fire. This is great. And I knew I just started. I'm like, how is this great? Like, I know you probably like it, probably because you're not, like, there's not a lot of people doing it. But I need constructive criticism. I did this one project where I got real constructive criticism. I'm like, wow, okay. There's a reality check. So since then, what I started to do was I started to seek, like, other filmmakers that didn't know me from a can of paint. They didn't know I was Nimi. They didn't know I was Nimi Hendrix. They didn't know about Secret Society. Hey, what do you think of this? Show it to them, and they'll tell me usually they like it, but at the same time they'll tell me what they don't like about it. How could I improve? How could I get better? And that's the only way you could improve, because there's people in certain art forms that they'll stay at the same level for over a decade if they don't know what to improve on. So I would say always seek constructive criticism. Seek the person or the people or the outlet that's gonna tell you how you could improve, how you could get better. Because if you had already mastered your art, then you would have you would be in a certain place. And I haven't mastered my stuff. Like when we do a project, we have different chats with our different infantry people that will say, hey, how can I get better? Like, what's wrong with this? Or how can I color grade this better? Or what do you feel about this transition? I would think that's the best. That's the most important thing, is to always seek constructive criticism, and don't take it personal.
Don't take it personal. Nimi, man, thank you for dropping them gems, man. We appreciate it. I know they appreciate it. Y'all appreciate it. Y'all appreciate it. Just want to make sure everybody appreciates it, man.
For sure.
I got some bad news.
What's that? It's over?
It's over, bro.
We just started.
I know, right? As much as it hurts me to say this, it's time to close things out. First, I want to thank my fellow creators for tuning in to this episode. I want to thank Nimi for taking us on his journey. Boom.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, what you just witnessed and what you heard wasn't just an interview. It was a masterclass on purpose and in purpose, about purpose. This guy right here proved that every frame, every moment, every role is an opportunity to create a legacy. You feel me? Before we fade to black, Nimi, can you let everybody know where they can find you? Right there.
My name is Nimi Hendrix. You can find me on all social media. Nimi Hendrix, Nimi Hendrix. I'm within reach. I'm right here in Newark. Come see me. Come talk to me. Reach out. Network.
Newark's own. I'm from Newark too. And if you want to holler at me, you can follow me on Instagram. I am Steven Strickland. I want you all to remember that every great filmmaker, every great writer, every great visionary started somewhere. So keep creating, keep pushing, and keep telling the stories that matter. I'm Steven Strickland. As always, remember, do what you love what you do, and we'll see you on the set. Thanks, Nim. Yes,